Viewers, welcome again to Flockel Show, a show that informs, shares, and educates. In our previous presentations, we tried to look at some of the requirements of a Visual Basic programming, but this video is to give a slight difference between Visual Basic or the previous Visual Basic, which used to be up to Visual Basic 6, and Visual Basic.NET. Students have been having some challenges, especially when they are writing codes. You notice there is a difference, a slight difference in the way you write the codes, depending on which application you have. The difference between Visual Basic and Visual Basic.NET lies primarily in their underlying frameworks, syntax adjustments, and overall capabilities. And here I'll try to give some breakdown. The first one is platform and framework. In Visual Basic, or the previous Visual Basic, which was an older programming language developed by Microsoft, commonly referred to as Classic VB, primarily uses the component object model for building applications. It runs on a Windows platform, tightly coupled with Windows APIs and legacy systems. Then, on the contrary, when we look at Visual Basic.NET, it's a modern object-oriented programming language that is part of the .NET framework. I want students to get here clearly that in the previous Visual Basic, you would not have the element of object-oriented being part of the programming application. But in the Visual Basic.NET, it was incorporated. Remember, all companies are trying to outgrow each other, and so Microsoft and also to move with the speed and take care of the object-oriented component. Now, Visual Basic.NET is designed to take advantage of the common language runtime, enabling cross-platform development and easier integration with other .NET languages. It supports web, desktop, and mobile app development through the .NET ecosystem. Then the other slight difference between Visual Basic and Visual Basic.NET is on the syntax and language features. If we look at Visual Basic, it's a procedural and event-driven. It has no component of object-oriented. It's relatively simple syntax, but lacks many modern programming constructs like inheritance, overloading, and structured exception handling. If you look at Visual Basic.NET, it is fully object-oriented, supporting features like inheritance, polymorphism, interfaces, and overloading. It is an enhanced language feature such as generics, asynchronous programming, and structured exception handling. Then the other difference that we look at is number 3, development environment. When we look at Visual Basic, developed primarily using older integrated development environment like Microsoft Visual Studio 6.0. It has limited support for modern IDEs and tools. In VB.NET, it is fully supported in modern Visual Studio versions and offers debugging, IntelliSense, and integration with other .NET components. The other difference we might find is on extensibility and libraries. In Visual Basic, it relies heavily on built-in Windows libraries and COM objects. It has limited extensibility and no direct access to .NET libraries. VB.NET provides access to the entire .NET framework, including extensive libraries for file input and output, networking, and database operations. It can leverage modern libraries like Entity Framework and ASP.NET. You now understand why, in some cases, if a student writes a program in Visual Basic Studio 6, it might not run in the most recent operating systems or Microsoft operating systems. Then, number 5, the other difference we find is on backward compatibility. Visual Basic, in this case, applications are written in classic Visual Basic are not directly compatible with Visual Basic.NET without significant modification or conversion. In VB.NET, it represents a break from classic VB in terms of design and execution, requiring migration tools or rewriting for older VB applications. And the other difference we might find is on support and future. This is very important for all the students who are developing applications in event-driven programming and who are using Visual Basic as a programming language. Concerning support and future, the truth of the matter is that Visual Basic is considered a legacy language and no longer actively developed or updated by Microsoft. So, since the development of Visual Basic 6.0, no addition, no nothing, and that's why it would be risky for one to maintain using that to program, because you are likely to encounter some incompatibility issues with the most recent operating systems like Windows 10, Windows 11, and so on. For the case of Visual Basic.NET, it is actively supported with the .NET ecosystem, though its popularity has declined. The other slight thing in summary I would say is that even in VB.NET, we have had always some developments. For example, we talk of Visual Studio 208 or 2008, which later on we see the development of Visual Studio.NET 2010. We have Visual Studio.NET 2013, Visual Studio.NET 2015, Visual Studio.NET 2017, Visual Studio.NET 2019, and currently we are talking of Visual Studio.NET 2022. The truth of the matter is that you need to interact with these interfaces, otherwise there is a slight difference in the way you access, for example, the controls and properties when you are setting up or you are designing an application in Visual Basic. I think, or I hope this video will be an eye-opener to those students who have always been trying to wonder what is it that is happening when they go to write a program in Visual Basic Studio 6, and yet it cannot run in a Windows 10 or Windows 11 operating system. Thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, remember to subscribe, comment also on our YouTube channel, that is Flokel Show. We always are eager to inform, share, and educate. Thank you, and we continue from there next time.